Hello and welcome back to UltraHuman. My name is Rachel and I'm here to help you be your best human. And today I want to do that by talking about some of the differences between the fear of missing out versus the joy of missing out. And I had this idea and I recorded a video on it while I was on my way up to see JP Sears in Portland on my birthday. Unfortunately, I rewatched that video and the audio was too terrible because I recorded it in my car. But I thought that there were a lot of really good ideas in there, and so I wanted to get back and re-record some of those ideas. So, basically, if you're not aware of FOMO, it's what the kids are saying these days, and it just basically means that you have this anxiety, this nagging feeling that if you aren't present either online, on the various social media platforms, or actually attending, for example, like parties or events, it's becoming more and more common as we share so much of our lives, these little clipped out moments that aren't the whole picture of anyone's life, even the most fabulous person that you know or follow online, even people who are legitimately famous. You're still only seeing these little cutout windows into their life at any given moment. And while I was on my way to go see this show in Portland, I was listening to a podcast that Dr. Matthew Walker and Dr. Rhonda Patrick, in the 2.5-hour long podcast that they do on sleep, which I find fascinating, and I'm excited because I want to cut it down to something that I can actually deliver the highlights to it for you guys. But so much of what he talks about, we have such a deprived of sleep, we're deprived of light, we're deprived of darkness as a society, and I really started to think about how all of these things tied into this fear of missing out. Like, we have a hard time sleeping because of the anxiety that we're gonna not catch something that happened online, or we're not gonna get that invitation to a party at the last minute, so we never really shut down, and we keep our phones with us in bed oftentimes, and then we end up often inside and on computers all day during the day, whether that's because of where we work, or just out of habit. And so I thought it was very interesting how all of these bigger ideas when it comes to health and sleep and things like that really do tie back into this fear of missing out. And at the same time, while I'm on my way up to Portland to go to this event, I realized that I kind of had some anxiety, and I was sort of trying to pick that apart and figure out why is it that I'm feeling so anxious? I was going to the show alone, and so that was part of it. But then I kind of realized that underneath that I had a little unconscious resentment that none of my friends had forked out the money or the time to come to the show with me, and it was very I never actually had the thought cross my mind man, somebody needs to get their butt over here because it's my birthday and come to this show with me or anything like that. But when I was just picking apart where are these feelings? I have feelings of anxiety in my body, and where is that coming from? I realized that that was theirs. That was something that I had to let go. I had to let go of the idea of being embarrassed about being there by myself. And also I realized that I was kind of tripping about how and when and what was the etiquette behind posting as much of this to social media as possible. And so luckily I had this whole inner dialogue before I ever got to the show, so I could let go of all of those things and just be there and realize that this is my experience to enjoy and embrace, and realize also that part of the dynamic between the fear of missing out versus the joy of missing out is just this idea that anytime we say yes to something, we're saying no to something else. And anytime that we say no to something, we're actually saying yes to something else. So for those friends of mine, for example, who couldn't make it out to come see a show for my birthday, they said no to that, but they were saying yes to having a full night's sleep, or going to work that night to make some extra money, or just hanging on to the money that they would have otherwise spent on going to see the show. And so those are things that I realized that, like, I need to take those things into account in my own life, probably sometimes more often. Just making it a conscious decision where, rather than hanging on to that anxiety that comes with missing out of what you might be leaving behind online, when you shutting your phone off at night. That's a trip. Most people don't do. I actually try to make a habit out of leaving my phone on airplane mode, and I have an alarm for the morning. When my alarm goes off, I take my phone off of airplane mode, and I get all of my updates and everything. It's just that I'm not getting beeped at in the middle of the night, because I don't need that. Because I'm trying to say yes to a full, good, rested night's sleep where I can really leave those things behind and walk away. And so, as such, I guess I wanted to make an announcement that in June, I'm going to be doing a 30 days of social media minimalism challenge, and I'm going to make up my own rules. I thought about going 30 days without social media, and I decided I didn't want to. Maybe I will after this, but I just decided I was going to call it social media minimalism and make up some rules for that and see how it goes. But so that will be, I'll have a video about that probably sometime early July. And if you want to make some suggestions about that, or have any recommendations, or if you have tried something like this, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what your experience is with the fear or the joy of missing out on events has been. Also, in like how you interact with social media, and if you feel like you get really obvious benefits, or if you notice a lot of the drawbacks to being on social media a lot. So everybody have a wonderful weekend going into June, and I am so glad that you could all join me here. Thanks, and get out there and be your best human. Bye.